Anybody who's ever been a fan of zombies knows that a wonder weapon can make or break a map. If you look at some of the more iconic and popular maps, most of them have one thing in common, and that's a decent wonder weapon. It's one of the more obvious common denominators amongst quality maps. In some cases, a good wonder weapon can elevate a map and maybe even save it from becoming a disastrous experience. For example, let's look at two of the most disliked maps we've ever had in zombies, Transit and Die Rise. Now, for most people, those two maps are not in the same category. Transit, for the most part, is very much despised in the sense that it's considered to be a terrible map that has no redeeming qualities. Die Rise is also considered to be a low-quality map, but the difference between the two is that Die Rise has one redeeming quality, and that's the wonder weapon, which is called the Slickifier. If it wasn't for the wonder weapon, Die Rise would probably be just as unpopular as Transit. So a good wonder weapon can make a big difference in the overall experience, but what are some of the attributes a wonder weapon needs to have in order to be considered good? Well, it is subjective to a certain degree, but for the most part, it's the same for everybody. The first thing a wonder weapon has to have is decent power. It has to have a really good damage output. The other factor is efficiency. How many zombies can it take out in a short amount of time? The more, the better. There are also some other factors to consider, like whether the wonder weapon is able to save you when you get cornered, and I think how accessible the wonder weapon is should also be taken into consideration. If a wonder weapon is somewhat good but it's not as accessible, then you might not even go for it, because it might seem like it's not worth it. Now, in the past, Treyarch was kind of hesitant to make the wonder weapons accessible. Mostly, there were usually one or two ways of obtaining one in every map. It was usually either a buildable or it was something you could get out of the box. And that's something that they changed with Black Ops 4 Zombies. In that game, they allowed you to get the weapon out of the box as well as building it. It was a change that came post-launch, but it was a solid change. And if you look at Cold War Zombies, they took that even further by letting you build the wonder weapon, get it out of the box, get it from the bunny Easter egg, or get it from the trials. So Cold War Zombies has done a really good job of making the wonder weapons accessible. If you get tired of building it every game, then you can do the trials instead, or spin the box, which helps keep the whole experience refreshing for all players. Now, with the release of Forsaken and Cold War Zombies, we now have a new wonder weapon to talk about. It's called the Chrysalax, and the way it works is kind of interesting. It's a really fun wonder weapon that has multiple functionalities. It's basically an axe that you can turn into an SMG, and there are multiple ways you can use it. Starting with the simplest form, you can just press the right trigger and your character will swing the axe twice. The non-pack-a-punched version does 6,250 damage per swing. Once you pack-a-punch it, it does 12,500 damage. Pack-a-punch twice, it does 25,000 damage, and triple pack-a-punched, it does 37,500 damage. Also, since it is a melee weapon, every time you hit anything with it, you recover 15 health. Not only that, getting melee kills with this weapon replenishes a small amount of armor as well. So it's good both offensively and defensively. Now, things get a little bit more interesting when we look at the other functionalities of this weapon. When you press the left trigger, your character will throw an axe that's able to kill multiple zombies while simultaneously swinging the axe once. So you basically do a long-range attack along with one melee attack. The axe throw is a little bit underutilized, and there are multiple reasons for that. One is that the swinging mechanic is just too good. It does a really high amount of damage, you replenish health and armor, and you don't have to use ammo. The axe throw is a long-range attack, so you don't have to put yourself in danger, but it does less damage than the swing. It does 5,000 damage, pack-a-punched once, it does 10,000 damage, pack-a-punched twice, it does 20,000 damage, and triple pack-a-punched, it does 30,000 damage. Another problem with it is that it requires ammo, which has been by far the most confusing part about this wonder weapon. And the reason why is that you don't have an ammo count indicator in your HUD. So allow me to clear up the confusion. If you get a max ammo, you have 5 axe throws, and every time you throw the axe, these 4 crystals around the axe will start to glow less and less. And as far as I know, that's the only ammo count count indicator you have for this weapon. There's really no definitive way to tell how many you have left. You just kind of have to estimate by how much glow your crystals have left. And if you want to get ammo for the axe throw, you have to get kills with the SMG. And if you want to get ammo for the SMG, you have to get kills with the axe. And that's basically Treyarch's way of enforcing you to utilize different aspects of this wonder weapon. Unlike some of the wonder weapons in the previous maps in Cold War Zombies, the normal ammo drops do not replenish your ammo, because this wonder weapon has its own specific type of ammo. So Mule Kick in this map is a less than significant perk. If you get a max ammo, that will replenish the ammo for the Chrysalax, but otherwise you have to rely on the wonder weapon ammo drops, or you can purchase ammo for it yourself. Now let's talk about the next functionality. If you press the left trigger, you will throw the axe. But if you hold the left trigger, your character will throw the axe, it will remain in place, and it'll spin and it'll stay there for 10 seconds. And if you stop holding the left trigger, the axe will return to you. No matter what you do or how long you keep the axe in place, every time you throw the axe, you will lose one shot of the wonder weapon ammo. Now the thing about the axe spin is that by far it's the most efficient and powerful aspect of this weapon, because it's almost as if it creates this little portal on the ground that will shred zombies to pieces. The damage output is technically the same as the axe throw, but since the axe is staying in one spot, spinning super fast, if a zombie walks into it, no matter what round, the zombie is gonna get shredded. And it's also very effective against boss zombies as well. The problem is the radius is quite small, so it's hard to get a bunch of zombies to walk into it. You can still swing the axe while holding the left trigger, so you can swing away while the little portal is killing zombies, but you can't run, so you can only walk while you're holding the left trigger. And because of the limited ammo, the way you have to obtain ammo, and the damage radius of the axe spin, this dimension of the Chrysalax is a little bit overlooked and underutilized by most people. Now let's talk about the SMG. It's basically just like a normal SMG, except for one thing. Every now and then, the zombies you shoot turn into ether crystals and they explode, and they do a lot of explosion damage that can potentially kill a full horde of zombies. But other than that, it's just a very powerful SMG. It has 42 shots in the magazine and 210 in reserve. Once you pack-a-punch it, you get 70 shots in the magazine and 350 in reserve. Non-pack-a-punched, a body shot does 840 damage, a headshot does 1,680 damage. If you get the Deadshot perk, you get 1,848 headshot damage, and if the enemy has full health, the headshot damage is 3,696. Once you pack-a-punch it, body shots deal 1,680 damage, headshots do 3,360 damage. With Deadshot Daiquiri, headshots deal 3,696 damage, and if the enemy has full health, you'll deal 7,392 damage. When you double pack-a-punch it, body shots do 2,940 damage, headshots do 5,880 damage. With Deadshot, that number goes up to 6,468. If a zombie has full health, that number goes up to 12,936. When you triple pack-a-punch it, body shots deal 4,200 damage, while headshots do 8,400 damage. With Deadshot, that number is increased to 9,240, and if the zombie has full health, that number is increased to 18,480. So the damage output is not bad, but considering the limited ammo and the way you have to replenish it, I'd say the damage output is a little low. Of course, you can always use Ring of Fire to gain a lot of damage boost, but I think everyone knows by now that the best way to use this weapon is to simply swing the axe. It does a lot of damage, it's a one-hit kill for a long time. Starting from round 44, it stops being a one-hit kill, so that's probably when you'll have to mix it up a little bit and start using the SMG with Ring of Fire, and maybe even use the axe spin to get some kills. I'm not sure if this wonder weapon is a high round wonder weapon, but it's definitely one of the best wonder weapons to get you there. It's really good up until round 44. After that, you're gonna have to think of some other strategies. It actually reminds me of the Raygun Mark III in Gorod Krovi in some ways. That weapon was really good to get you to round 40, and then after that, it just wasn't good enough. And the Chrysalax is kind of the same way. Another minor issue with this weapon is that if your SMG doesn't have full ammo, and you walk over the ammo drops that Mule Kick gives you, your character character is gonna pick it up, but nothing is gonna happen. You will pick up the ammo drops, but you won't get any ammo from them. This is probably not intentional, and it'll probably get fixed sometime in a future update. But I thought I should mention it regardless. Overall, this is a really fun wonder weapon. It's powerful, it gives you health and armor. If the whole ammo system wasn't a little confusing, the other aspects of this weapon would be a lot more utilized by players. But still, it's a really solid wonder weapon, and you could say it's the best one we've had in Cold War Zombies. That is gonna do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think of the Chrysalax. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.